All right, drive concept. All right, like I said, some people call it shallow cross. All right, to me, it's a full field concept. Now we break our pass game down to quick game, screens, and then we've got our normal drop back game, which we pick a side and we roll with it based on numbers. All right, then we've got our full field stuff. All right, and I consider full field stuff this. We run mesh. We run a little different than how most people run mesh, but we're still. Last year was the first time I'd ever run mesh, so that's still kind of a work in progress. But it worked great. I was looking for something off drive when people started defending drive very well. So this is a full field concept. We take it in to every game. This play goes in with us every single game. Started running this at Lakeside. I ran a little bit at Thompson, and I took it to Massilon with us, and we've gotten really good at it. This reason why I take it in every game is because it's great versus man and zone. All right, you just got to learn how to teach it, and it's like anything. Keys to being successful: teach it, drill it, rep it, and call it. All right, a lot of people forget that about getting good at something. They say, "Man, I wish we could get good at this," and you look back. And you only called it one time that game, all right? And it didn't work out, so you're like, I ain't going back to that, And I've been guilty of that. But I've also experienced where it didn't work the first time, and then you go back to it, and it works again, it works again. You got to trust it. You got to trust your preparation and call it, all right? So, and also goes in with calling it, all right? That gives you quality film to teach off of, too. So the only way to get better at anything, really, is to continue to stick with it and call it. Find whatever you're going to do, commit to it, and call it, all right? But like I said earlier, we drill everything, all right? We drill everything. Every throw, every concept, we drill it. Obviously, teach it during the install. All right, and again, like I showed you the RPO progression of how we teach, all right? This is how I teach drive. First, I teach it, all right? Install it on a whiteboard, all right? When I get done with teaching the quarterback's defense, all right, we go to film, we show it to them on film, install, and I make them get on the board and draw it, and we teach all the aspects of it and all that stuff. Then you get to practice, all right, and this maybe is in the winter, early summer, all right, and this can be, this can go into the season, preseason, summer, whatever, all right. Versus air, quarterback drills. Every concept we run, I have a drill for, all right? Just because I think you got to teach quarterbacks. RVA, routes versus air, and then 7-on-7, team pass. Something that we've kind of gone to. We started it at Thompson, all right, and then we started going to it at Massilon, and I really like it. Once August hits, we don't do 7-on-7 anymore, all right? And part of that reason is, remember I talked about trying to get much done as possible at practice? Well, part of that was, how can we combine something? All right, so we can work our blitz pickup, we can work our 7-on-7 drill all together as one, all right, and just go team pass. And I've found that, and I don't have it on here, but I've got our quarterback completion rate has gone up since we started doing team pass, all right, instead of Skelly. Now, we'll do, defense sometimes still wants Skelly, and that's fine. We'll do Skelly with those guys. But when it's our time, we do team pass, and it makes your quarterback have to throw around traffic. It makes the OL, yeah, they can work pass pro while you're doing 7-on-7, but it's different when they're all working as a team together. I know you can do blitz pickup drills, but it's different, too, in a blitz pickup drill. With a running back, he's stepping up and taking on a backer or some kid holding a bag, but there's no quarterback there. All right. Now, if he doesn't really step up and take it on like he should in team pass, he's going to be in a way, and I'm going to be on him. The running back coach is going to be on him. Our quarterback's going to be like, dude, you got to move. All right. So it's a way to teach, everything all combined in one. So we do a lot of team pass, and then make sure. If we take this in, we take driving to the game, so I make sure that in the team script on Monday and Tuesday, I have it in there. At least 2 times on Monday, or at least 1 time on Tuesday, but it's in there 2 times in team pass, so we're getting 3 good reps of it in team scenarios. So, and then obviously on Wednesday, I make sure to get a couple reps at it too. So like anything, decide if this scheme is for you, this is what you want to do. Teach it, install it, all right, drill it, rep it, and then call it. All right, you got to be willing to call it. All right, so this is what our drive looks like. All right, a lot of people call it shallow cross. I'm sure a lot of you guys may run it. All right, now our pass pro. All right, our pass pro. In our pass pro, we're not a full slide team. I never want a back on a defensive lineman ever. All right, even in our quick game, I don't like it. All right, some people like it, I don't. All right, so we're always going to be locked backside. All right, whether it's a 4 or a 5 technique, or if it's a 4-eye, he's coming inside, so there's normally somebody walked up or coming off that edge. All right, majority of the time, we will fan it and game plan that. But it's a if it's the shades here, he's going to step down and slide it here and lock here, and then the back's responsible for the wheel. Now, in our protection, all right, we have the ability to block it like this and have the back here and fitting up on the wheel, okay? If we got this look. We also have the ability to put the back over here, and he'll cross and fit right here. And I really encourage you to do that, because I feel like if you always put the back here in protection, all right, people can bring more and they can blitz your back. All right, so I like to move that back around to kind of keep people on their toes. All right, well, where if the back's here, we know where the man side is and we know where the slide side is, so you're going to get a lot of pressure here. So if you mix it up, changing where the back is, people can't get a beat on where your slide side and man side is. Also, in our protection, we have the ability to turn our protection. We don't base it on the shade and the 3. All right, I call the protection. All right, so in this look, if I wanted to, like this look right here, this is orange protection. All right, orange tells the back he's on the right, he's fitting here, and the slide side's on the left, man side's on the right. And we can go black. If we call black, now it just turns the protection the other way. All right, now he's stepping this gap, he's stepping here, slide side's here, all right, and he's locked, and the back would fit over here or be lined up here. Gray and silver, the back is on the same side. Orange and black, the back crosses. Okay, so that's just kind of a little bit in our protection. All right, but I think it's really important to be able to turn your protection either way, so people don't blitz your back, or they go, okay, well, they're sliding to the field. I'm guilty of sliding to the field majority of the time. All right, balls on the hash, we typically slide to the field because that's where we get our pressure. This year, I was there in 2017. Well, this year we started getting a lot of boundary pressure, so it was good. First rep, boom, they brought that boundary pressure. All right, cool, we'll just slide it to the boundary now. And we started, it was a quick fix. So try to have your adjustments built in as your system before games. So I just say all that to kind of give you an idea of our pass pro. So in drive, our back is out. All right. So this right here is, in our formations, we can move our receivers all over the field. I have the ability to go rip, Liz. Rip and Liz taught these two dudes. All right. This is Liz, so they're over here. All right. Now I'll go Liz 6. That tells the H on the 6. He's over here. All right, I could go rip 7, and the H is over here, and they're over here. It sounds complicated, but it's not. The kids pick it up pretty fast. And the reason I went to that, my last year at Thompson, we had some pretty good receivers, but, I never moved them around, okay? And I said, I'm never going to get in that situation again. So we really worked hard on being able to move our receivers. Like this formation right here, if I say Lee instead of Liz, the Y goes to the number 1, Z is the slot. All right? So, or if I went Roy, the Y would be number 1 over here, the Z slot over here. So it got the ability to move our guys around. I know that's not earth-shattering, but it was for me because I hadn't done it because I was always tempo, play fast, let's not move our receivers around, and now I'm big on it. All right, so our drive concept, we always set the slide side, and kids don't do this. I make sure I do this when I call it. All right, we set the slide side to the shallow crosser. All right? And we set the man side, you know, to where the back is shooting, just so we can account for this guy. Okay? I remember it like it was yesterday. We ran it against Jefferson, and our darn back went the wrong way. And the backer blitz, and we stepped on backer and let a D lineman go. And got hit. This is the play we were trying to run against Coach over there. So we're shallow cross here. I tell him heels of the D lineman and get gone. All right? Zero, well, I don't say zero. Maybe never go past 5 yards. I want him in front of the mic. Don't go up the 5. Don't climb no higher than 5 yards. So your heels D lineman and you're going. You're running. And I tell him, do not peek until you cross the ball, all right? Unless you see this Mike blitz. If you see the Mike blitz, you may have to peek early. But I want him running. And he can't run if he's sitting there looking around, you know, with his head on swivel. I want you to go, all right? And I don't want you looking back at the quarterback until you cross the ball. You know, unless you see that Mike blitz. Now you may have to peek a little earlier, but let's go. That's the first thing, all right? Now, the dig, you know, we played with this, all right? It's a 10-yard dig, all right, outside release, all right? And I like outside release to get that Sam to turn his back to the shallow, all right? Or if he's well coached, he'll just sit there and buzz his feet. But some kids, you know, even well-coached kids, they want to turn and wall too, and they'll turn their back and try to run with him or wall him or whatever. But we want an outside release. Now, you can run like put your foot in the ground, count off steps. Our receiver coach teaches steps, not yardage. And you put your foot in the ground and go right now, all right? Or like this year, we had a real big guy at Y, and he would round it a little bit, okay? He would round it at about 8 and work up to 10 just because, you know, he was big. He's 6'6", and he couldn't get down on his hips and get out of his cut real fast. He was better at kind of rounding that thing off, all right? He said, you know, which is fine. He still got there in the space where we needed him to. This guy's got a skinny post. Don't cross the hash. Aiming for the upright, all right? And then you can do whatever you want over here. You know, we've run vertical. We've run post. We've run a China route, all right, or a post, or like a slant corner deal. I call it a China. I don't know why I call it China. Just when I was the defense coach, this old defense coordinator I worked for called it the China, and that is just stuck. All right, we've run that to kind of occupy him, but we want to keep that safety away from it. We have run double post here because we run some other things. Like I was showing Coach earlier, our sail concept, we run a bunch of post, and we get a lot of safeties bailing on that stuff. So this year we ran post with our drive stuff, okay? All right, quarterback. All right, it's a 3-step gun drop. All right, he's catching the snap. All right, and he's 1, 2, 3, ball. His eyes are on this area here. Okay, he's not tracking the receiver with his eyes. He's catching the ball, and his eyes are immediately to grass over here to where the drive's going to be. All right, now. Sometimes he can see that mic walk up. We tell him, work your cadence. You know, we game plan if that mic comes. But day one install, our eyes are right here. All right, that flat defender that forced defender turns his back and tries to wall, we're taking it. He runs in man, we're taking it. All right, that's our first read. All right, so he's 1, 2, 3, ball. He doesn't hitch on rhythm. All right, now. 1, 2, 3, it's covered, that third step is covered. Now start stepping up and looking for the dig, okay? So he's 1, 2, 3, it's not open. Start stepping up, working in the pocket, start looking for that dig because it's coming open. It's not there, take the back. So it goes like this. All right, big 1, 2, 3, ball, if the shallow's there. If the shallow's not there, start working up in the pocket. If the dig's not there, turn, boom, out to the back, okay? And that's how we teach it. He blitzes, take back right now, all right? Don't even take a drop. If he blitzes, that means nobody's on the back. Okay? Now, we've had teams try to peel the end off or whatever, and we've run wheels, and we just get it out there to him fast. Hey, Monday, our running back signed with Washington State. So Mike Leach was in town Monday to do his in-home, and I got to go to lunch with him, and he had a really good perspective. He's a weird dude now. It was an interesting. I just texted, hey, Coach, you're not doing anything. You want to go get a cheeseburger? He's like, yeah, come get me. I can't, he's talking about the churches in town, and he didn't talk a lot of football. But when I finally got him to talk some football, it was real interesting. We were talking about today, and he was talking about how, he doesn't really get stressed out when a D lineman tries to peel off on that. He just tells the kid to run, get with, and get it out there to him fast. And Mike Leach don't coach a lot of details. I figured out in that little short conversation. But typically, all right, a lot of teams don't do that. But we throw hot off this guy. Obviously, some of that will change if it's 3-3 stack. Which one you're throwing hot off of. But that's more game planning type stuff if you're seeing a 3-3 stack defense. All right, now we have the ability to do it with different receivers, and that's why we don't run a bunch of schemes. All right, we take one scheme and run it as many ways as we can think of running it. All right, so we're running drive now. Now we flipped it. All right, we went rip. So the Y's over here and the Z's over here. All right, and we went 9, which puts the H out here. Now our X is on the dig. He was number 1 in that last. If you look here, he was number 1 there. Now we got him flipped. He's number 2 here. All right, he's running the dig, shallow. He's in the flats. Now our Y's on the shallow. The H was on the shallow in that last slide. But it just looks different. We turn our protection. It's just a different look. Mix it up. We call it, and we keep it simple. We call it, this is Y drive. All right? This is H drive. Okay? And it's the same read for the quarterback. So you're not teaching a new scheme. It's still 1 shallow, 2 dig, 3 back. If wheel blitz is the man side, take the back. All right, we're running out of empty. All right, we'll run empty. All right, and we'll run. This is empty, H drive. Everybody's running the same thing. We're just running a little bubble out here with the running back. Same read. Shallow, dig, back. Okay? Now, I like this too. This is really good in the red zone. All right? Really good in the red zone. And it's damn unstoppable in 7-on-7, baby. When you go to them 7-on-7 tournaments, I love it because then you got about 5-6 seconds back there. We went to Pitt last year, and them cats can't operate a stopwatch to save their life. But I really like this, okay? And obviously you want to try to make sure you call it, and this sounds, our O-line coach don't like it when I say stuff like this. I just hope they don't blitz the wheel here. But sometimes that's just how you got to roll, man. You got to prepare. And if you know a down and distance when they're not going to bring the wheel, maybe it's first down, maybe it's second down, maybe it's third down. I don't know. You got to work and find those tendencies. But sometimes you just got to trust it, and it's easy. We just go right there for us. That's Liz 6, orange, H drive, T wheel. Sounds like a lot, but the kids are looking at signals. We're no huddle, all our signals. We just tag T wheel. All right, he's on the wheel. Because now this wheel has gotten used to, all right, it's man coverage. I'm going to run with him. We're going to cover all this stuff. I'm going to run with him. And he takes a terrible angle, and we're on that wheel route. Because, if he doesn't take the right angle, you got him beat. Now, our backs are deep now. And I don't want to go down this trail. I'm big. I really like inside zone and power. And our backs are a little bit deeper than most. And I just believe in it because our backs, I think when you get the ball a little deeper, all right, it gives time for everything in front of you to pan out. All right. And when we had issues at Lakeside running zone, after researching it, and I met with some people, our back was too close and nothing was working out and he couldn't see. We backed him up to 7 yards deep, and it sounds deep, but it's the same thing as when people were under center, reversing out, handing the ball off back here. All right, but it gives it time for that stuff to pan out up front. But you do have to cheat your back up when you got to do that. That's one thing I don't like. All right, you got to cheat your back a little bit if you want him out. So we'll cheat him a little wide. We'll cheat him up. You're only going to call that 1 or 2 times in a game. If that wheel backer, see, he's cheated up, he's running the wheel, then, good job by them. But we try to do some things where we cheat our back. So, try to protect our plays as much as possible. But you do have to move your back up a little bit and widen him a little bit. Or call it in the boundary. I really like this in the boundary too. I like when the ball's on the hash and you send him up in the boundary. I really like that. And if y'all got any questions, just holler at me. All right, so we play a lot with a fullback sometimes too, and you can max protect it and still run the screen. All right, if you don't want to say, okay, I don't want to worry about throwing hot off that wheel, or if a DN's peeling off. We played Pace Academy a few years ago, and that was their answer. They would peel off on our back with the DN. All right, and so, McKinley did that to us this year. So we would max protect it with our 6-man pro with a fullback. Typically, we're 7-man pro when we're in this look, when we're throwing the football. All right, and I really like throwing the ball out of this look because now we're the slide side, man side, and we got the inside gap covered, and then we got an extra guy in protection off the edge. Okay, and so in this scheme, all right, this is X drive here with the dig here, post there, and we tag the wheel to it. Now, we told them, this is forward personnel. Our personnel groups are cars, and this is forward personnel for us. So we told our back, when it's forward, all right, you're always running the wheel. Okay? We never just ran him in the flats. If we knew we had an extra man in protection, we had time, I wanted him cheating out and getting running the top off the defense. Okay? Kind of clear that up. Nope. Nope.
When's he peak for the wheel?
After I tell him to on huddle sideline. And honestly, that's what we do. We'll go through it. Now, if we've got time, if he's watching boom, boom, and he sees this safety cheated pre-snap and that safety's trying to jump in there on the dig, we'll take a shot there. So, that's his outlet there. But most of the time we're seeing, when we're calling this, we're getting pressure and they're playing man. And typically this is what's always open. We hit that in the semifinals on a big 3rd down this year. Caught them in man coverage. And this corner, for whatever reason, just didn't run with the X. He saw that wheel coming with him, and he's got him man, and he didn't see that wheel, and they brought the wheel backer, and for whatever reason, the corner hung on the wheel route, and this safety was on the wheel, and they just let the shallow go. So we got lucky there. I think I got a clip of that on here. So this is a good deal. This is a way of going, okay, all right, how can we make drive fit in some of our other personnel groupings? And I think that's important. Take your pass game, and any of our pass game, any of our 2x2 pass game, we try to adapt it to our 21 personnel, our 20 personnel, because like our sail concept, a good cover 4 beater. Well, it's dirty when you put a tight end and a fullback in, and they go, okay, they're going to try to run power. Let's load the box, play 2-over-2 over there, and now we're 2-on-2, one-on-ones out there on the edge. You get max protection, and that's something I fell in love with at Thompson because we were a lot of 3-backs, and I like to max protect and run because people would play man and sell out to stopping the run. And we had some things matchup-wise out here that I really liked. And we're doing that now. So take your pass game and see if you can fit it in all your personnel groupings because you don't have to change anything. It doesn't change for the quarterback. And it doesn't change anything for the kids. What's the difference if let's say we're running smash here, okay? and there's a tight end and a fullback there. They're still running smash. I mean, it's smash, you know. So we try to adjust everything to all our personnel groupings. All right, drill and drive concept. All right, I got a bunch of drills that I do for each of our concepts, but this is one that I'd like to do for drive. So remember what I said. All right, in drive we go 1 drive, 2 dig, 3 back. So big 1, 2, 3. Take the drive if it's there. All right, big 1, 2, 3. It's covered. Start stepping up. Move up in the pocket. Find your dig. All right, if it's not there, turn, throw to the back. So I like to take everything we do and break it down and teach it in a non, stressful situation where it's just one on. This is just a day with me and the quarterbacks. This is during school. Again, like still in time. They finished up in the weight room. Hey, let's go throw. All right. Or you can do this in pre-practice. While maybe the punt team's out there working, you can find you a little corner somewhere or one end of the field and say, set it up before practice or whatever. So right now we're drilling the throw to the shallow. All right, so 1, 2, 3. He's throwing, then he gets set. Another ball, 1, 2, 3. He's throwing, eyes there. Just working that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, ball. Just working that rhythm, that muscle memory. Just training his body. 1, 2, 3, ball. 1, 2, 3, ball. All right, we go through each quarterback with it. 1, 2, 3. It's a freshman kid who's going to be really good. This kid, our quarterback got hurt in round 2, and we put that freshman in. He threw for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's got another year. So it's 1, 2, 3, ball.
Do you care about I call it a punch step, but him taking that step with his left foot? Do you care about that a lot?
No. I mean, I teach staggered step. All right, we're staggered and we're pushing off this front foot. Big 1, 2, 3, like that. I don't overcoach the drops. I typically like. And I know some people, that's their cop-out of saying they don't coach details is when they say, I don't overcoach something. But sometimes I feel like you can overcoach drops. I just want them comfortable. Knees bent ankles, catching, being athletic, 1, 2, 3, and being loaded up with your weight on your back foot, compact, not out here, not ball here, I don't like the ball here, I don't like it here. I like it right here, loaded. All my quarterbacks at Massilon are baseball guys, and I love baseball guys as quarterbacks, except for that damn travel ball schedule. but other than that, they're great. They're great, and I love having all my quarterbacks have been baseball guys. All right, and because hitting the baseball is a lot like throwing a football. Weight back, not overstriding. Being always loaded, ready to throw. I teach. When we move, I know there's a lot of, everybody says something different. When they avoid, do they use the front foot or do they use the back foot? I teach back foot because, it just makes sense to me. You move here, I'm ready to throw. I always tell our guys, stay ready to throw, because it really don't, in the game, if he avoids with this foot and gets loaded and makes a great throw, did he move and get set and get there and ready to throw? Whatever he's comfortable with. I prefer them here because it's quicker. All right, but I try not. I don't get caught up in the if it's a punch step or a quick like on quick game. Is it a quick 3 throwing or is it quick 1? Are you hopping out of it? Whatever these guys are comfortable with. I'll teach how I like it, but I don't get caught up with that with his drops. I want a good crossover and. As long as 1, 2, 3, he's throwing on time. That's the biggest thing to me, is he throwing on time. If he's not throwing on time, let's find out why you're not throwing on time. And it may be a drop. Does that answer it? Yeah. All right. So now they're just drilling the throw. Now we're drilling the dig throw. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's not there. We're stepping up and driving on the dig route. 1, 2, 3. I like a little more crossover. They're being a little lazy with their drops here because I pulled them out of the weight room. But I like to see a little more crossover, stepping up and driving on the throw. So it's just breaking down the concept and working different drills with it. He's doing the same thing. See where his eyes are? I tell him, hey, get your eyes over where the drive's going to be. 1, 2, 3, and step up and find the dig. Get used to working your eyes in sync with your drop and your steps. 2, 3, working up the pocket. Oh, bad rep. The same thing here. And we'll usually go, a couple reps here, a couple riverside it, try to do everything 2 times, depending on whatever time you have. And this is just one of our drills we'll do for drive. So now we're stepping up. It's not there. We're finding our back. So just break it down, the read, into working our steps, working our throws, that kind of thing. All right. Now, any questions on any of that before we get into the film? Yeah.
So when you playing against a nickel defense and that shallow cross is coming,
Mm-hmm.
do you have outside the tackle, 2 yards outside the tackle? What do you want him to sit down? If that guy, if he's playing on that slide, I would call him a Q. He challenges vertical and then he sits right there.
Uh-huh. Now on drive, we don't see it. We just go. We just go. Yeah, we just run. Because if they are doing that and they're trying to sit on that, we're going to hit the dig behind them. Yeah. Now, we were working on some, we'll run 4 verticals and we'll drag tag. We'll do some of that where we'll noose up over the middle of the field and stuff like that, what you're saying, but not on drive. And what we tell our guys on drive, you're running, you're not peeking until you cross the ball, all right? And once you catch it, you're hash number sidelines. Go, all right, go. Don't catch it and then try to immediately turn upfield. All right, we want you to work upfield, hash number sidelines. Go, run. Run the Nike swoosh.
So that wouldn't change if it was single high?
No. I don't like it versus cover 3. If it's cover 1, we'll run a little more drive, but yeah, it doesn't change. And if we get cover 3, we're throwing different concepts and different things. All right, this is a scrimmage. I don't know if this is a good rep. I put some bad reps on here too to kind of just show film of. All right, so we got drive here. All right, the dig. As you see, we're got the slide side here. He's dragging. They're playing man. It's a decent game for a first down play. That was a scrimmage. We don't have the end zone. All right, now this is a good. Now this is early in the season. This is our first scrimmage of the year. All right, and we have some issues here. Our quarterback, he gets pressure, and he tries to take it to the back, but he didn't read the right one in a 3-3 stack. If he comes, then that's the one we want. But the Mike and the Sam, they kind of lined up weird. The Mike and Sam came, and the wheel ran with the back. He should have took that right now. So sometimes, you run into things, and you just fix them on film. And this is one of those great examples in this game, right there I could have said, that's out. We're not doing that. No, get on huddle sideline. Get it fixed, and later on in this scrimmage, he scored on I may have it on here, on a 38-yarder where they ran the same pressure, and we caught them that time and scored. Same thing, scrimmage here, some scrimmage film. We got the drive coming here, 3-3 stack. And like I said, we catch and we run hash number sidelines. Hash number sideline. Got the same thing. Now we flipped him over here and we're running drive over here. Flat defender turns his back. We got it. I'd like to see our receiver get there faster, but again, this is our second scrimmage. You can kind of get a good look at the protection here. We've got odd stack. All right, so now we set the slide side here because the shallow's coming here. So slide side here, lock, backs out. All right, so you know if he came off the edge or he walked up in this gap and came, we'd take him right now. You know, and also versus 3-3 stack. And again, you got a game plan 3-3 stack a little more. If he were to walk over here and get here, if he's in a 3 technique, even though he's a backer, we would go ahead and lock both those guys. Okay, so you know your protection, you got to game plan it some, but generally speaking, that's what we're going to do. We're going to set the slide side here, man side here. Our left tackle got whooped. Embarrassing.
You had a shade and a 5 over there. Would you center? He's going to help. Your guard's going to help the center.
Yes.
And eyeball the linebacker.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He won't just jump in B gap, you know, and yeah, he'll help. He'll help a little bit.
Right.
You know, not much now. We tell that center, you better get after it.
Right.
All right. But he's going to punch, you know, and get his eyes in his gap.
Okay.
All right. This is St. Ed's. Really good football team. This is our third scrimmage. We got shallow here. Quarterback does a good job here of they bring the mic and the wheel, and we get it out. He does a good job of getting that ball. And here's a good clip of them peeling off on our back, but they brought the mic too. So, you know, he sees it and does a good job of getting his eyes back inside to the drive. You know, it's not a great gain, but, you know, it's first down. You know, it's 6-7 yards. We'll take it. All right. We got the drive here, the dig, post. This is against East St. Louis. Back out. This is a heck of a ball game. One of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. You know, we hit the dig this time. You know, actually, it could have went either or. You know, but you know, earlier in the game, you know, we saw that the dig was starting to pop open. Again, we started hitting them with a lot of mesh too. But our quarterback does a good job of seeing it coming, steps up and throws a dig.
Is that guy kind of settling in the window?
Yeah. We tell our guys most of our routes, you know, if you're running your route and it's just open, just settle down. You know, on our trail post stuff we do, all that. And you'll see he does a good job, but you'll see it on the end zone shot here. You know, and they're kind of eagle. I don't know what is like a bear front look. And when we get a bear front, what we tell on our protection, we make a macho call. All right, and we man here, we're man here, we're man here. You know, basically man on. Okay, and then the back's responsible for whatever. These cats, you know, I got it on my other presentation. You know, so we got the answer for bear. We're going to macho call this, and they drop the daggone nose and bring both backers, and our center's just standing there. Both backers go through a gap. So now, you know, that was a good thing that happened at the game. So now we taught him, hey, if in a bear front, if a nose drops, you step a gap back, you got the other a gap. But they started doing that. They started, you know, bringing both backers and dropping the nose. So we're macho on that. He's getting his eyes. Look at his eyes, you know. But he sees all this grass. Makes a great throw.
Back in the old days, with cover 3, if you saw the safety cheating down on a dig, you would throw the post over his head. But that takes a little while.
And we've done that. We threw a post this year for a touchdown off this. You know, and that's, again, one of those things where we get over, we see it on huddle sideline, or we see it upstairs, and we say, hey, man, next time we run this, take a peek at this. I think that's the same play. Again, hey, guys, if these guys call you for a game, say no. All right, right here, you know, so in this game, we beat them 46-40, and we ran a bunch of mesh stuff, and so they were really trying to stop Trayvon on a dig, all right? And they were getting this, and this is the last series of the game. You know, we're down. We're going down the score to try to win this thing. And, you know, they just don't take the back. You know, look at them. They're all on the dig. He collisions the drive, and they let the back go. That was a big, it was 2nd and 10 there. And we called drive, and it was a big game-changing play there for us. And that's what we tell our back, too, on drive. If, you know, when he runs out here in the flats, all right, once you get to the top of the numbers, if you're not covered, start drifting upfield a little bit, all right? If I'm running and I get to the top of the numbers, all right, and nobody's covering me, start working upfield a little bit. And we'll lead you upfield and throw you upfield. And I say the top of the numbers to give him room to work, okay? Because if he catches that ball like this right here, you know, he don't have much room there on the sideline. Top of the numbers.
Got about 5, Coach.
Okay. Same thing here. You see the protection there, you know. And our center, our O-line coach is a great coach. He played for Urban Meyer at Bowling Green. He was a Remington Award finalist. You know, watch our center here. If he gets no A-gap threat, he steps in and punches this guy. You know, don't ever just stand there and not block anybody. You know, we try to work. Now, don't high-low him, but same thing here. Just, you know, this one. What if he gets away from that tackle right there? You know, he's out the gate. All right, here's another example of getting out to the back. Bring a little pressure there, and this is in round 1. He takes a poor angle, and we get it out there to him. That kid broke every rushing record in Massilon this year. There we go, hitting the drive. That's a little freshman kid. He stopped his feet and got blown up. Here's a good look at the drive, and then we hit the dig. He settles down. Look how he chokes it down right there. He's a good one. He's signed with Michigan State next week or 2 weeks. All right, here's an example of the fullback end, and he's running the wheel, and then we got X drive with the X receiver and the dig by Trayvon here. See how the quarterback works that pocket, steps up. He's checking drive. He doesn't like because the mic came over the top. Boom, hit the dig. Same thing here. We've got X drive on. Remember what I said in 6-man, you know, when we're in our forward personnel, he's always running the wheel. Hit the dig over there. Got a couple more clips.
A bunch of that pick stuff. That's about all the pros do now.
Yeah, we've got some red zone pick stuff we do. Another rep against a 3-3 stack. This was in the regional championship game. Got a couple more reps to show y'all. Got 4 minutes. Trying to hurry up. This remote ain't going real fast. They can collision it. You know, this time the guy that's responsible for the back, he collisions and gets called up. Our quarterback saw that and got it to the back fast. Had to handle a high snap too. I think great clinic tape, but whatever. Worked out. There you go, hitting the drive. All right, here's another one out of the 6-man pro, getting it to this kid. That kid's a sophomore. He's got offers from Alabama and Ohio State, Clemson. He's a good player. All right, and I think these are I just wanted to throw these on here. I got about 2 more minutes. This is our mesh stuff that we run off of. I'll just let these kind of run. So we get really good at mesh too. We throw a lot of mesh. Yeah, he's over the top. He's meshing. He's sitting down.
It's mostly for man-to-man stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that's a lot of our
I know
versus man stuff.
About it against zone.
Yeah, it's all man. They get caught up, and we really like mesh in the red zone. Right here, this is semifinals. We throw it in the red zone, and a 2-point play right there is what that was. But we run mesh too. Sorry, I couldn't get into details of that, but I got some other stuff on that if you want it. There's my contact info. If you got any questions, go ahead and shoot. And you can email me, call me, hit me up on Twitter. I'll share anything I have for you. I appreciate your time. If anybody got any questions, holler at me.